This severe weather briefing issued because of the potential for a significant severe weather outbreak starting today in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, and then tracking through our viewing area tomorrow into tomorrow night. Well, Weather Stormlord along with you. Welcome to the live stream, everybody, and let's get right into it. So basically, we're already seeing development in Texas of multiple supercells, one of which already has a confirmed tornado on it near Abilene. Those storms are likely going to merge into a squall line that may not impact us at all, but excuse me, we are going to be dealing with a much more mundane situation. So basically, what we're looking at right now for tomorrow is a gigantic enhanced risk of severe weather that includes Illinois, Indiana, I believe parts of Missouri as well. And I have heard some talk.
52 watching now. Expect save micro filters switch kit. Welcome to it. The Kaiju King, the East and Godzilla guy. High weather button. Chat options. Kaiju King.
How you doing? I still can't pronounce your name, but welcome to the stream. Anyway, so going back to what I was saying, this enhanced risk includes Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana, and into portions of northern Kentucky and far southwestern Ohio. The current threats, the main threat looks to be with the second round. There will be 2 rounds of storms, both of which with some severe threat to some extent. The setup in terms of timing will be very similar to a March 14th, 2024 type situation where we had 1 round late morning into the afternoon and another into the evening. But the threats and intensity are going to be different. The first round will be associated with a well-matured MCS, mesoscale convective system, probably in the form of a squall line across western Indiana around 11 a.m., moving into central Indiana, probably maintaining severe limits and continuing to push to the east across a majority of central, maybe even northern, and heck, maybe even southern Indiana, probably in between noon and 4 p.m. So that may impact anybody at the track for the Indy 500.
Kaiju. Chat options. Kaiju chat creator tool. Chat. Welcome to it. The Kaiju King, the East and
The next and the main threats with that are going to be damaging winds of 60 to probably as high, if not much, to 70 miles per hour. I doubt we will get the 2 significant winds on that one, but I still think it certainly could produce some wind damage. And then there is also an isolated spin-up tornado threat with this first round. I'd say the tornado threat in round 1, based on what the National Weather Service just posted in their short term, is going to be more significant than the threat in round 2. However, we will get to that in a moment. But there will be a tornado threat with round 1 regardless, as it moves across central Indiana. Then, once this MCS clears the area, probably around 4 to 5 p.m., there's likely going to be a little bit of a window where we here in Indiana will not be seeing any action, which is probably the moment when we here at the studio are going to stop streaming for a certain amount of time and take a little bit of a break and take a look at what's going on out west, because around this time there's expected to be supercells developing in Missouri and Illinois that will merge quickly into a line that will move across. And as we go into the 7 p.m., 8 p.m. time frame, this will start to move across southern portions of our viewing area. So basically, Indianapolis and points south down towards the Indiana state border.
chat options. But Kaiju King.
And that has potential.
Switch camera. Filters. Microphone unmute. Save highlight. Expand toolbar. 2 watching now. Live. 3. Save mic. Switch. Welcome. Kaiju chat options. Kaiju.
This round is expected to be more significant in terms of the damaging wind threat. This one will likely produce more. This one has more of a threat to produce 70 or greater mile per hour winds across the southern third of central Indiana. They mentioned in their last outlook that the biggest threat for this system would be along and south of the I-74 corridor. So basically, Crawfordsville and points south and east are where the worst of that's going to impact. There would be a slim tornado threat, but even that has some limiting factors, especially if any tornadoes were to occur, they will be in the far southwestern sections of the viewing area, so more near the Terre Haute area, which is out of our limits. Now we will probably have to stream for both rounds.
Z Magma. Just letting you know I'm here. Button.
And hello, Xavier. Welcome to the stream.
Chat options. Z Magma.
Glad you could find us. He will be working with us on stream tomorrow, by the way. Are you a moderator yet?
Chat option. Z Magma. Just letting you know I'm Z Magma. Just letting you know Z Magma. Just Z Magma. Pin message. Report. Remove. Put user in. Hide user on. Add as moderator. Button. I handle. Add as moderator. More information. Managing moderator. Can manage blocked words and change. Z Magma.
There.
Just letting you know I'm here. Chat options. Button. Z Magma.
Excuse me. So we will probably be streaming for both rounds, but my biggest concern right now is the first round because that will be impacting right about the time the Indy 500 gets underway. So that could impact the race. Plus, there's going to be a lot of people at the track, and if the storms impact the area and are very severe, that could be a significant problem, particularly if there is a tornado threat. Based on the timing, it kind of makes me think of May 30th, 2004, where a round of three different rounds of severe weather actually impacted northern
YouTube. Now. Red
central.
circle. Weather in Mooresville. Indeed. Life in Tornado Alley moderator. Hello Storm Lord. Button.
How you doing, Life in Tornado Alley? Glad you're safe. There's just another cell that just passed near Altus. I know that you were hit earlier this week.
Chat options. Life in
But going back to what we were saying, we will probably, like I said a minute ago, we will probably stream for both rounds, especially the first round is my concern at the moment. However, once that second round starts to really develop and get organized, we'll have a better idea of exactly where things will be impacted with the overnight part of this. The biggest threat for severe weather is going to be for all of our viewing area between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. And then another threat with the more significant rounds south in between 6 p.m. and 1 a.m.
chat options. Life.
So that's currently what we're dealing with in terms of the severe weather timing. Again, any tornado that would develop tomorrow would likely be the QLCS type, according to the Weather Service, which means that it will not be a substantially long track or violent tornado. However, spin-up tornadoes are certainly a possibility. And I want to stress something here. Not just because violent tornadoes are not expected does not mean that they cannot occur. I have seen MCSs go beyond no limits and produce significant long-lasting tornadoes. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. But I certainly think that there is potential for multiple spin-ups, possibly a little bit significant. So it's something we are going to have to watch very carefully as things move on to the east northeast.
Chat options. Life.
Again, for those of you just joining us, we are looking at 2 different rounds of strong to severe thunderstorms across all of our viewing area tomorrow after, basically late morning into the overnight, with a little bit of a low probably in the late afternoon and early evening, and then mid-evening into the overnight, things picking back up in the form of a squall line. So it looks like we're going to be dealing with multiple lines of severe weather tomorrow across the majority of our viewing area, which is going to lead to 1, if not 2 live streams. My thought is, because I don't like going over the archived video limit on YouTube, I'm probably going to split the rounds into 2 streams. That way, if the second stream overruns, we won't jump over the archived video limit.
Chat options. Life.
Because my current thought is to go live in between noon and 1 p.m., depending on if the storms have moved into our area. And then probably once these move out of our area around 4 or 5 p.m., taking a break, and then go live again sometime around probably 7, maybe 8 p.m. for the second, more intense round. So certainly going to be a day where we're going to have to watch the weather very closely and
Chat options.
pay
Life.
close attention to exactly what we're experiencing. The damaging wind threat is going to be area wide. That's why we are under a slight risk on the far northern edge. So basically, LaFountain, Marion, you all are under a slight. But then further south, this includes Noblesville, Indianapolis, Anderson. I think Muncie is right on the border. We also have Bloomington, which is south of area, Monrovia, Morgantown, Greenwood, all under the enhanced risk for severe weather as tomorrow progresses. And again, I have heard possible talk about a smaller, moderate risk being issued, but I don't know anything about that.
Chat options. Life in tornado. 6 watching now. Micro filters. Switch kit. Welcome to Z. Life chat option. Creator chat. Life.
Again, welcome to everybody who is just joining us, and thank you for tuning in. Our goal here is to get the information out to you so that you guys can all take the proper precautions and be ready for tomorrow's event, as again, we are going to be dealing with two lines of strong to severe thunderstorms across a majority of Indiana tomorrow. But the main threat really is going to be along and south of I 74. So that's where the worst things are going to happen. So my concern is still going to be the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, because that's where the Indy 500 takes place, and also is going to be where probably the northern end of the worst of it is going to hit, particularly in the evening round.
Chat options. Life and chat creator tools. But options. Options. Create chat. Life and tornado.
However, before that, we have to deal with this first round of storms that will be impacting our area in the late morning to early evening. And we, at the moment, excuse me, I am still sick. For those of you that have not been following me the last couple of days, I am down with an illness, so I am doing my best. But currently, it looks to me like the MCS that's going to move into our area in the late morning, early afternoon, will hold severe levels into western Ohio, but then will start weakening and possibly falling below severe levels by the time it gets to the Columbus, Ohio area, and then points east and north.
Chat options. Life.
However, that is well east of our viewing area, and I want to zero in more or less on what we can expect in central Indiana. And that's why I think the main threat for us tomorrow will be damaging straight line winds. There was a conception yesterday that it was going to be all supercells, but I do not believe that is going to be the case, particularly as things have changed here in the short term outlook, as they initially thought it was going to be a majority supercell outbreak with the potential for numerous tornadoes, including strong and long track. However, that has now shifted more towards a linear setup with a less significant tornado threat. Now, I'm not going to rule out a couple of supercells entirely
Chat options. Life and
here across Indiana, but we are certainly not going to be hit as bad as Missouri and Illinois. And then as stuff moves into Ohio, it'll continue to weaken by the looks of it, as the risk generally decreases the further east you go. Now, I do want to stress that just because the risk decreases doesn't necessarily mean it's going to weaken right away. So it's certainly something you're going to want to keep a close eye on into the evening hours as that first round comes in. And one other thing I'm going to add is this first round could impact the second round. And I'm not going to say if it's going to make it weaker or stronger or not, but it certainly could make one of those impacts. So make sure to have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings as we go through the day tomorrow, such as this stream. If you have a NOAA weather radio, make sure to have those enabled and on alert mode, or just with you so that you can get the latest weather information. And then another way to do that would be to download the Red Cross emergency app and put in your current location. I have that enabled and it's worked wonders for me, as you've seen in some past videos. And then another way you could do that is there are a lot of other streams on YouTube, not just my stream, that have really good information for you that will really help towards giving you just the idea of what's going to happen. And then another way is through local radio and television stations. They will probably be covering this to some extent as things progress. So those are some way. Another way is by using wireless emergency alerts on your cell phone. Those will go off for tornado, flash flood, and destructive severe thunderstorm warnings. So for winds of 80 miles per hour or more, tornadoes, or flash flooding.
chat options. Life and
By the way, if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop it in the live chat thread.
6 watching now. Welcome to Kaiju Z Mag. Life and tornado. Welcome to switch camera. Z chat options. Life and
But that's basically an overview of exactly what we are going to experience over the next 36 hours or so. There could be some residual rain showers that move through around for the next few hours on Monday after the second MCS pushes through the area. However, those will not mount to anything as far as I'm concerned. I am not at all concerned with that after the MCS passes. I think it'll be pretty much over. So basically, anytime from 11 a.m. tomorrow, maybe a little bit sooner, to about midnight is going to be when we're going to really have to keep a very, very close eye on the weather. And of course, I will keep updating on my Facebook page and as new information arises, I will create YouTube posts in the community section to make sure that everybody is aware of the situation and ready to be uh, and able to move to a safe place when warnings are issued. I have no doubt tomorrow that we are going to get warnings in our viewing area. It's just a question of where and when and how significant. So, certainly something to keep an eye on as we go into the future, as the potential for a severe weather outbreak remains on the table with all hazards. The hail threat I haven't touched on much. That's because there isn't a too big hail threat. Actually, here's the hazardous weather outlook.
For the period through tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Sunday through Friday. Thunderstorms are expected Sunday, and some of the storms will be severe. Damaging winds and large hail are the primary threats, but tornadoes are also possible. Heavy rainfall could cause localized flooding. Thunderstorms are also possible Monday and Tuesday. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Taking a look at that.
And I should also mention we will have the Central Indiana Skywar net as well as the Hamilton County local nets. And there goes my scanner. Oh no, crap! That was a radio. Where did the battery cover on that land? Hold on, guys. I'm going to simulcast the radio station for a second while I look for my battery cover for one of my radios because it just went flying. And I need my hands for this.
For Wednesday, mostly sunny. Highs in the lower 70s. Wednesday night and Thursday, clear. Lows in the upper 40s. Highs in the mid 70s. Thursday night.
No, everything is flying.
Orientation. Expand tool belt. Button. Z Magma. Welcome. Kaiju King. Z Magma moderator. WLBC does weather updates and they cover severe weather. Button.
Okay, actually, that is good to know. I wasn't sure if they did.
Chat options. Z.
Xavier, can you make sure you are tuned into WLBC for me if you would, because I can't play it on stream. I'll get copyright claimed. But if you could use your radio to jump on there and give me updates on what they're saying, if you would do that, please, that would be much appreciated.
Chat options. Z Magma moderator. WLBC does weather updates and they cover severe weather. Button.
WLBC is a very reliable station. They do a heck of a job. They really watch us in warnings, much like some other areas.
Chat options. Z life and tornado rally. Z. 7 watching now. 0 like. Expand tool. Save. Expand tool belt. Button. Kaiju. Z Mag. Life. Z Mag. Chat options. Z.
Again, for those of you just joining us, there's potential for a significant severe weather event tomorrow. Pretty much a majority of the afternoon into the evening and into the overnight hours, with all severe hazards possible. But the main threats are going to be damaging straight line winds and spin up tornadoes. So those are mainly what to look out for as we go into the day tomorrow and into the evening.
Z Magma moderator. Sounds good. Button. Chat option. Z Magma.
All right, thank you very much, Xavier. That's gonna about do it for us this afternoon into the evening. I would like to thank Z Magma for joining us, as well as anybody else who participated in the stream. I look forward to bringing this event to you tomorrow, and I hope that we can do some good in the event tomorrow and make sure that everybody has ways to get warnings and knows what to do. On behalf of Z Magma and everyone else on the team, Weatherstorm Lord saying, have a good night, everyone, and
Chat options.
thank you for joining us.
Set alert. Are you sure? Can't end. Button.